Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Our topic for today, fear of missing out. I believe you heard about FOMO, and this FOMO becomes a very interesting topic and a very important topic is because nowadays our market is not short on information. In fact, we are flooded with information, and with that, this FOMO becomes a very important psychology issues that we need to overcome. But before we can overcome, we need to understand what are the factors that cause us to have this kind of feeling or this kind of psychological trap, and how can we overcome? So these are the topics, are the content that we are going to cover for today's session itself. So if this is the first time that you are joining our YouTube topics, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channels and on your notification bell so that you will not miss out any of our upcoming topic. My name is Ting Ting. As usual, before we start, we need to do a disclaimer. Our topic for today is only meant for education purposes. There's no buy or sell call. Now, let's start with the definition of FOMO itself. So FOMO stands for fear of missing out. Can you see the first topic previously I already highlighted? So technically, another way you can say that majority of us we are having the feeling of fear of missing an opportunity. So this is the areas that we are going to look at. So from the English perspective, I believe we understand exactly what is FOMO. But another part that we need to understand is what causes to have this kind of feeling, and how can we overcome this, what we call as FOMO, because FOMO can be very taxing in terms of your trading, and you're going to see that many of our trades that we make, especially those losing trades, many of the reason behind is because of FOMO. So this is a topics that we really need to look into it. But for today's session, instead we go into very complicated perspective to look at the FOMO. Let me start with a very simple way to understand exactly what caused FOMO and how can we overcome that. So let me start with the first factors. I'm going to summarize this into three main factors, the three most factors that's going to affect our FOMO. The first factors will be social comparison. Now, I believe nowadays, any of us, definitely we are going into like LinkedIn, YouTube, what we call Facebook, Instagram, anything that you can name it. And we like to compare ourselves with the rest. So one of the reason or one of the factors that causes to have FOMO is because we like to compare. Like for example, during the height of those like what we call glove counters, you can see that many of us seeing that our friends, they are making a lot of money via those counters. And you can see, let's say for example, they are sharing, your friends, they are sharing that they already make 5,000 ringgit Malaysia. The first question you are trying to ask yourself, I did not do anything, so should I buy right now? If I'm not going to buy, am I going to miss another 5,000 moving forward or not? So this kind of what we call it a social comparison will cause us do not want to miss out any opportunity, and when we have or we look that there's an opportunity, looks like an opportunity, we will quickly write on it. So this is one of the factors that causes, and I would like to give you a very direct solution in terms of this social comparison. Now, when it comes to social comparison, the easiest way I always tell my graduates is try to avoid going on social media when you trade. So do not get your tips, do not get your ideas, or do not get all your buy call or sell call via social media itself. It doesn't matter coming from Telegram groups, etc. Whatever decision that we want to make, we want to trade, it must be based on our own decision. And this decision can be coming from your trading system itself, etc. Later, I'm going to let you understand the overall picture, how can we overcome it. But one of the way, as I mentioned, a direct solution for social comparison is when you trade, try to avoid those social media, especially if you're only trading one or two products. Technically, let's say for example, as a retail, you trade FCPO. and you trade FKLI. If you're trading both products, you can see that one day you only have 4 decisions to make. Either you are going to buy FKLI or you're going to sell FKLI. Either you want to buy FCPO or you're going to sell FCPO. Only 4 decisions. So if, let's say, for example, if you're trying to compare to the peers, you're going to see that you're going to make a lot of wrong decisions. So remember, avoiding all the social media is very important steps when it comes to trading. Now, the second factor is definitely about loss aversion. Now, what is loss aversion? I believe you already understand. Meaning from psychology perspective, we can accept profit definitely way better than losses itself. It's like many of them, easier comparison for you to look at is 1 to 2, meaning that you can accept 2 times of profit. At the same time, let's say for example, you can accept 100 profit easily, but you can't accept 50 ringgit Malaysia of losses. With that, many of our decisions can be very wrong because we do not manage our risk itself. You're going to see that loss aversion will cause us, because of we do not want to miss any profit opportunity, we are going to ride on it and jump into what we call the bandwagon and riding on it. But this might not be the correct time for us to take that particular trade. Now, the last factor is about uncertainty. You know, when it comes to trading itself, market itself is filled with uncertainty. This is a norm, but because of uncertainty, the uncertainty of the market will cause us to really do not want to miss out any opportunity. And because of that, we tend to take a wrong decision, or we tend to take a too fast to make a conclusion and take that particular trade itself. So if you can understand these are all the factors that cause us to have this FOMO, then we need to understand how can we overcome, so that we can overcome these psychology problems of FOMO, fear of missing out itself. Now, the strategies to combat FOMO, the first is definitely having trading system. I always tell people, we must have a trading system. Now, I reiterate, if previously you did not follow any of the videos that we are talking about trading system, I just want to highlight to you first thing. Many of us, we misinterpret that trading system, it must be a software, it must be an application, but it is not. Trading system, as a layman perspective, is just purely like your standard operating procedures, a process. Step 1 is what we need to do, step 2 what we need to do, or another way of saying it is a trading formula. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals to our trading system. We must have a standard process. Like step 1, before we make a decision to buy or sell, let's say for example FCPO, do we have a proper process to arrive to our conclusion of making a decision to buy FCPO? So trading system will govern you from that perspective. That's why it's very important for us to have a trading system. If you still do not know how to set up your trading system, a complete and comprehensive trading system, welcome to join our class, because we have classes that cover about trading system. You can go into the description section to get the trading system registration up. So having trading system is very important for you to understand that. So you must have a trading system, because trading system can solve more than half of your trading psychology issue. So FOMO is one of the trading psychology problems. So if by having trading system, you definitely can overcome that, because once you go through a trading system, you notice that that doesn't allow me to make a call to buy this FCPO, for example. So rather than we keep on worried that we are going to miss out any opportunity, we go through our trade system to conquer whether our decision-making process is it correct or not. We always say, if you take care of the process, your outcome will take care by itself. The outcome meaning whether you are going to have a profit or loss, they will take care by itself. Now, the second way to combat FOMO is about patience itself. We need to practice to be more patient. Now, previously we have topics covering how do you practice to have that kind of patience. And one of the way that we can do is in our real life example is like, for example, anything that we can do in our life. Let's say, for example, not to break any traffic rules. Those minor things, we start to practice it. With that, slowly we can practice our patience as well. So you can refer back to our previous YouTube topics. One of topics we are talking about those patience, like discipline, etc. And the last part about coping up with trading losses, we need to really understand what is trading losses. Now, I'm not going to cover about this topic in details anymore, because I remember 2 weeks ago, I did cover about this topic about what is exactly trading losses and how do we take trading losses. If we really understand, the most important part is, do we really understand our trading losses itself? So once you have your trading system, you will know what kind of trading losses that you are expecting. I always say, what is shock? What is surprises? Shock and surprises is because we are not prepared. If we are prepared, we prepare ourselves enough, we can take trading losses easily. And we understand trading losses is part and parcel of our trading. So we need to understand how to cope with our trading losses, and with that, automatically you will know how to solve this FOMO itself. I hope that this particular video you can repeat and watch a few times, because many of the things, once you experience it, you will understand better what I'm trying to highlight to you. And trust me, once you have these all strategies and you really exercise in your trading, you'll be able to overcome FOMO itself. So this comes to the end of my session, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channels and on your notification bell, and please remember to give us a like, and I'm going to see you in our next video. Bye bye.